Hi Bolovies, welcome to Community Living with your Coma Label. If you're new to the channel, please remember to subscribe, and if you're stopping back by and just continuously supporting the channel, you know the jingle by now, so sing along. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. So thank you to each and everyone that has been subscribing, commenting, sharing, or however you've been engaging with the channel. I very much appreciate it. You took your time to either support the channel or you're just catching on in terms of financial literacy and you're supporting me in some way or the other. So thank you very much. We're currently sitting on 839 subscribers and we are running this giveaway, right? So one lucky winner is going to win a 250 voucher when we get to 1,000 subscribers. So please make sure that if you haven't subscribed, you subscribe and you comment on any video that has that is covering easy equities, right? So there are more than 5 videos that are available right now that cover easy equities platform. So please do comment and subscribe so that you stand a chance of winning this 250 voucher that I have up here on the screen, right? And then so the second topic is that I ran another poll. So how I'm going to be doing all these episodes covering these various platforms is that I'm going to run various polls. I'm going to be asking you guys on my various social media platform, what do you want to hear, what do you want me to cover, so that these episodes are actually catering to someone out there, right? So that it's not just me speaking to a screen, but there's actually a demand behind the content that I'm releasing. So please do engage whenever I'm asking questions so that whatever you have, any questions regarding whatever I'm covering is actually covered, right? So the poll results, I'm just gonna put them here. The reason I'm not putting for the other platforms is that there wasn't that much engagement on the topic, but from LinkedIn, thank you to everyone that is voting on the various polls that I've been putting up. What you guys want me to cover is what can you actually buy on easy equities. For me, how I can rephrase this question or what's going to be covered in today's episode is what is the actual big deal when it comes to easy equities, because you know, especially on Twitter, like Fin Twitter, every second post is about easy equities, it's about investing and so forth. So what is that big deal? What makes easy equities what it is, and what can you actually find on easy equities? So last week I covered the various accounts that you can find, the 10 accounts, and I ran a poll and didn't really get the answer as to how many accounts are actually available. So do take your time and check out that video from last week to really find out which other accounts are you missing out on. If maybe you answered that there are 4 accounts or 100 accounts. I saw quite a number of people, I think it was on Twitter or LinkedIn, I'm not sure which platform. Some people answered, gave an answer of 100, that there are 100 accounts. So no, they're definitely not 100 various accounts. There are 10 accounts, but there are different things that you can do, and there are different things that you can buy that maybe some people are confusing with accounts, right? So that is what we are covering in this week episode. What can you actually buy on the easy equities platform, and not what accounts are there that allow you to buy these things that we're covering in today's episode. So I'm gonna go ahead and do a screen recording. Hopefully this week it does not give me any problems, because last week I had multiple problems. So I might just be covering one account for today, which is the easy equities ZAR account, but I think if I've covered that account, I've covered most of the assets or most of the investment vehicles that are available on easy equities. So it will be much easier to just transpose or to just extrapolate what I've covered to the various other accounts that are available, right? So let me start my screen recording. Okay, then let's go to easy equities and log in. You can also do this with me while I'm doing it so that you always remember how to do it, right? Okay, so I have started the screen recording. We're gonna go to Easy Equities and log in. So what we're going to be looking into today is not the investment accounts. I've covered that in a separate video. Please do check it out if you are interested in knowing which 10 accounts are available on Easy Equities, right? So the tab that I'm going to be focused on is the investment tab, right? Or the invest tab, right? So it just takes you through what you can invest in the various accounts. For example, if I click on the Easy Equities accounts, I get to see all the investment vehicles or the assets that I can invest in. So these will be the topics or the items that I'm going to be taking you throughout these screen recording, right? So equities are the very first thing that we're looking into. So from an Easy Equities perspective, I think there are about 388 equities that are listed on the Easy Equities platform. Has the same synonym as a share or a stock, and from an Easy Equities perspective, this is where you're going to find it on the ZA account. And when we look into the interface or the functionalities, start by selecting the account, right? Then you select the investment vehicle or the asset that you want to invest in, which at this moment is an equity. Then you select the category or tag, and at this point in time it's all the equities that are available, and usually it will be in alphabetical order. Then if we wanted to see the top 40 equities that are available on Easy Equities, then we'll go to the top 40 category tab. If you wanted to see the ones that are thriving, the ones that are related to vehicle and parts and so forth. So these are just subcategories that help us, especially for new beginners that are not aware of which industries some of these equities or some of these stocks might be listed in, right? So if we're looking into just general industry, so maybe they don't really fall under a specific category, then these would be some of the equities from the ones that we're seeing. We know your Bolovies, your Bidvest, your Impact, or what, if I'm not sure how you pronounce it, Nampac and so forth, Remgro, and so forth, right? These are some of the well-known ones anyways. So that's how you basically use the equities tab, right? So for a beginner, this would be my recommendation. Remember, this is not financial literacy, but if you are a beginner, look into the top 40 as well as the thriving tab as your guideline before you go to maybe the general industries. But if you have done your research, you know exactly which one to go for, right? We know that for investing, we look into fundamental analysis that looks into the portfolio, or that looks into the financials of a company and so forth. So yeah, then we can go to ETFs and see what they offer as well. So from an ETF perspective, an ETF is what is called an exchange traded funds, and it's made up of various asset classes according to what the ETF is actually indexing, right? Indexing is just means it's tracking something on the stock market and buying that thing continuously, buying and selling it continuously, right? So for example, this Citrix top 40 looks at the top 40 stocks that are on the JSE, and if something goes to position 41, it will probably be sold, and whatever that got to position 40 will then be on the Citrix top 40. I am not sure how accurate that description is in terms of real-time analysis. Does it really do they really do it as the top 40 is updated? Like, for example, if the top 40 accounts change 50 times a day, does it mean that the top 40 companies will also change on this specific ETF? So there you'd have to do a bit more research on that. But yeah, this is what it will mean. You've got different groupings in terms of the ETFs. You've got your Indeed 25, your DV Plus. Usually the DV Plus, I think they're tracking all the stuff that are related to dividend paying type of assets. FINI 15, Global Aggregate Bond, LB Portfolios, Hatrix Momentum ETF, MSCI. I think those are emerging markets, right? And so forth. So that is basically it when it comes to ETFs. But one thing you must know about Easy Equities, that they've got a very good ETF overview. So there are other functionalities when it comes to ETFs that you can actually work on to find an ETF that is suitable for you and so forth. And then when we go to ETNs, these are called exchange traded notes. They are also similar to ETFs, but what is different is that they look into credit of a specific company, right? Commodity, if we might call it that. So this one will be the First Trend Coca-Cola Combo ETN, and we can also go into it. And when you are doing this, you can also go into the Easy Equity research if they do have a research. Sometimes they don't have the research, so if we were to click on our research, it let us know whether or not they've done research on that specific asset. So as you can see, sorry, there's no research available for that instrument. Just remember that an asset or investment vehicle or an instrument is the same thing. Sometimes they're also called securities. So those are the same things. They just mean things that are listed on the stock market. So that is it when it comes to ETNs. And you can see that just because there are not that many of them, the tech that's available or the subcategories that are available is just all the ETNs, right? So because there's no way of categorizing them per se. And as I've said, that they are sort of for specific commodities. So here they're looking at the Adobe Incorporation, the Alphabet Combo ETN, the Amazon one, the Apple one, the Berkshire one, all those things. Then when we look into the fourth one, we're going into the crypto space. What do they have from the crypto space? So they only have one indices, and as I've already mentioned with regards to indices, sorry, you've got EC10 covering plus minus 10 of the cryptocurrencies that are available on the market. And another thing that you get to see when you are actually going through this is that you get to see the prices in terms of how much can you sell at, how much can you buy at, what was the last price, and so forth, daily movements, and overview of a monthly overview if you want to select for a month, 3 months, 6 months, basically the period. You can track through your period span the maximum of that thing or of that instrument. And then here they also just give you the underlying investments that are available. So you've got Bitcoin that weighs 59.33% and so forth. So, and then they just give you a disclaimer as well, and then you can buy the investment if you're interested in buying it, right? So I'm just gonna demonstrate how that will be. So I will just say $50, and let's just make it $100 that's available, and then it will translate to the number of shares. So it's about 1.36. And another thing that is great about Easy Equities is that you can buy fractional shares, hence you can actually just buy for however much. So currently the price is $72, but I'm not forced to buy for 72 times whole shares, right? So if I could only buy whole shares, it meant that for the amount that I currently have, I could only buy one share. But because I'm allowed to buy fractional shares, then I can buy for whichever price that I have. So if I had less than $100, I would also just say that, okay, I want to buy for $5, and it will translate. I want to buy for, let's see if you can buy for 2 cents. Actually, it starts with a rand, so you can't think the smallest you can buy is for 1 rand. So I want to buy for 1 rand, right? So that gives you the fractional share. That's equivalent to if you buy for 1 rand. So right now we want to buy for 100 rands, not 1,000. I don't have 1,000 in my account. Then because Easy Equities is basically an account that looks into JSE instruments, right? So meaning it's for accounts or for assets that act on the stock market, and the stock market opens and closes, and it usually does not open in the weekend. So I think that's why there's what is called a buy order and so forth from an Easy Equities platform. So if you want to learn more about this buy order, then you'll just click on it. So yeah, oh, it hadn't updated, but yeah. So I can also choose to share the good news if I've decided to share it with my friends, just to encourage them to invest and so forth. So yeah, I currently don't want to do that, but yeah. So I can go back by just clicking on that invest tab. In the home page is the equities one. We're already on crypto. Then we go on to unit trust, right? So if I want to buy the unit trust, these are all the unit trusts that are available on the platform. There are not that many. And if I'm looking into income funds, there are 2 of them. If I'm looking into balance funds, there are 3 of them. And if I'm looking into property specific funds, I think they're just looking into property and nothing else. So this will be what I'll be looking into, and ones that are comprised of local equity funds. So there's an Allen Gray equity. So if we click into it, it will tell us a bit more that the unit price is 417, the total investment charge. That is really great, because this is something sometimes that it's not it's not information that most people are forthcoming with. How much is the total investment charge, right? So it's very important when you're investing to know how much you're being charged for what you're investing in, right? And then it gives you a bit of a background of how do they come upon this equity unit trust. I've got a video that covers unit trust in depth, so if you want to learn a bit more about unit trust, what kind of investment vehicle are they, and so forth, you can check that out. So here it gives you a bit more about the fund, that the fund invests primarily in share listed on the JSE. The fund can invest in a maximum of 30% offshore, with an additional 10% allowed for investment in Africa outside of South Africa, right? And then the fund invests the bulk of its foreign allowance in equity funds managed by Orbis Investment Management Limited. So you can do a bit more research if you want to learn more about them as well. And if your money is in good hands, and then you get the fund information as well, you can download this. This will probably be what is called a fund fact sheet. Right, that just gives you an overview of what the fund is all about. So you see this information that's already available on the platform. It's basically a one-stop shop for all these things. You don't have to now just do this research on your own. It's there already. You can check this out already. So I'm sure some of the guys that are not familiar with Easy Equities are starting to see some of the rewards of being able to use a platform such as Easy Equities. I don't know why it's taking some time to go back. Okay, so I've shown you guys how to buy. We've bought bit we've bought crypto. So I've increased my crypto because yeah, we know that right now crypto is not performing well, but yeah, in the future it might be. So that's why I bought a bit more. And then they've got various baskets. They also don't have a lot of these, so baskets are also very similar to unit trust. They are made up of different assets, right? So you get to find out a bit more when you click on it. So as I've already mentioned, I've got a video on unit trust. So the unit trust video will give you a breakdown that you'd have things like a manager. So baskets will also have a similar thing. And then let's go back again to bundles. Basket bundles are more or less the same for me. So they're very much risk orientated. You see that it's based on your risk appetite, as opposed to the unit trust that is based on what do you want to invest in, right? So unit trust would be, okay, do you want income funds, do you want balance funds, do you want property funds, do you want local or equity funds? Baskets, what do we start to see here when you go into that basket is anything that they decided that they're going to bundle together, right? So here they decided that, okay, we're going to have ladies hot picks. So it could be that it's for, yeah, I think this was what was on, what is this thing called, Twitter, where the ladies had some form of a Zoom class, and they actually decided to have some stock picks as to which ones are going to do well. So someone else decided to put this together. There might be an active manager, there might not be an active manager for it. It's up to whoever started the bundle, right, or basket. So same here, similar to this. And then what you get to see here is more on the risk side. So are you more on the conservative side? Are you looking for growth and income? Are you looking just for growth? Are you on the more aggressive side, and so forth? So according to your risk appetite, and that's something that you're also able to establish from Easy Equities. So yeah, I think I'll cover it in next week's video. So next week's video is going to cover how do you transfer, how do you withdraw, how do you set up a recurring account, and then lastly, how do you actually determine your risk portfolio from, or not risk portfolio, but your risk profile from Easy Equities perspective, or how they deem risk, right, or their risk assessment, from whatever assessment you're going to be given, or whatever assessment that you go through. So yeah, that is basically it. I know it took way too long, so you guys see why you can even go to the other investment vehicles that are available, or the other accounts, because there are 10 accounts and we've only covered one. But when we go to the other accounts, we actually get to see that the investment vehicles are more or less the same. So if you go to the investment tab, so ETFs, unit trust, basket, bundles, right, we've already covered those. Here it's bundles and unit trust. USD should be the same as the ZAR account. Equities, ETNs, ETFs, basket, bundles. I think they don't have unit trust on this one. And then Easy Equity AUD should be very similar to the USD one. Equities, ETFs, okay, they haven't decided to do basket and bundles for it. And then on the Easy Equities properties, all the properties that are available. So 7 on the middle, the Exchange Lofts, the Monroe, any IPOs that are available, So these are still in the IPO phase. Any auctions that are available, right? So we know IPO stands for initial I think it's initial public offering. Yeah, so meaning it's still not yet available to the public for sale on the stock market, but still in the phase where they're getting as many people to be interested in it, based on a specific group. So whoever is about to have that IPO or is going to have their company publicly listed, then they will have an IPO. So demos and demo USD, there's no need to go into them, because really demos will have the same accounts as the Easy Equities are. Demo USD will have the same accounts as Easy Equities USD. So yeah, thank you guys. I really hope you've learned something, and I really hope that now you know why people are so interested in Easy Equities, because you definitely have so many stock markets available, so many investment vehicles to buy from the Easy Equities account. On the equity tab, you have over 388 equities to buy from or to select from. Not all of them are good, but some are really good, and you have the opportunity to invest in them. You have the opportunity to do your research on this platform. So really hope you're going to start investing some time on finding out how to use Easy Equities as well as effectively as possible, and so forth. So right now what you're going to see is those that explanation practically showing you with my voice over, because yeah, technology is failing me once more. This is what happened last week. Hence you saw the recording of just screen record and the voiceover on its own, right? So thank you for tuning in. I really hope you're going to learn more about this and start investing in your investment journey if you haven't started. And if you have started, I hope that it has shed some light on what you can do better and how you can maximize your profits when it comes to your investment journey and your finances in general. So thank you very much, guys. Love you.